Yes, it's showing. Let me share my screen. So in the previous video, while explaining about this self keyword, the connection got disconnected due to my battery. Okay, fine. What do you mean by self actually? We were talking about that, right? I'll recall it one more time. Self is nothing but it allows you to access the instance variable and methods of the class. This is a self. See that actually always every constructor, method, right, and a variable, everything if you want to expose or want to access, then obviously you need to use self only. Okay, so this self keyword is more important where in Python. When you call the method of an object, Python automatically pass the object as a first argument to the method. What do you mean by the here is actually, I'm just calling this Vengat.eating something. So what is this actually? This is object. I'm calling this particular method. So you'll feel that, right? Eating method has a two-step. One is self, another one is the food. So food is we are passing. That's fine. What about the self? Why we are not passing that? That is what the statement they are saying. What is that? Python automatically pass the object as a first argument to the method. It means this Vengat will be passed. Sorry, this Vengat will be passed as a first argument. Physically, you cannot see that, but programmatically, it is passing automatically. Okay, why? Because that is a standard syntax. Okay, and can I use any other name? No, you should use a self is the asset. It's a keyword. Okay, so how it is working actually? Whenever you're calling the method like object.method name, for example, Venkat.method name, right? How internally working? Internally call is what is that? The object name dot method name and internally the object. Sorry for that. Object name dot method name dot object. This is a single one. For example, in our cases, in this cases, but how it is working, Venkat eating chicken. So this is a one, we are calling this. It means internally Venkat self comma chicken. This is the way it is working. So internally it is calling this self. Getting? Internally it is calling the self. Okay. So this is the way it is working. Self keyword. Okay. So remember that whenever you are creating the any method or any constructor, your first argument has to be self only. Okay, team. Please remember very carefully. Fine. You want to access any kind of variable, then obviously you need to use a self keyword. Okay, self keyword is more important. Okay, now let's go to our topic. What is our topic actually? Our topic is we are going to talk about the create a class using the data attribute. What we talked about in the previous one actually. In the previous one is we talked about the standard method, creating the class using the standard method, right? Simply we create the class, we create the object, right? This is a very, very standard method, right? But right now is we are going to create the class using the data class decorator. What do you mean by data class decorator? That's what we are going to talk about that. Okay, let's go here. I'm going to create the file name test data class decorator. Just a file name, that's all. Okay, how to create the data class decorator? from data classes import data class. You'll feel that what in by data class actually. Okay, we are from this particular, what is that module, sorry, library, we are going to import this particular module. It's a collection of packages in Java perspective. We are going to import only the particular class also, we can mention that. So from data class, import data class is mandatory. Okay, then fine. Then next one is class human. Okay, that's the one we did it. Okay, next one is what we are going to do. I can put it, what is that? Mm, leg, right? Eyes. That is the main thing. Eyes is equal to, eyes are always integer, right? Correct, integer. Then legs is integer. Okay, done. Then what do you have to do? Then method. What is a method? How to define the method? You have to use a def keyword. What is that? Def eating, right? Self food. You'll feel that, but why are you using this, self keyword? I already told, right? Every methods will start with self keyword. Okay, done. Then what is that actually? Print. What is that? You can put farmer eating food, right? So this is a simple way. In the standard is what we did actually. We create a class name, we put the constructor, we put the method. But in the data decorator is, are we using constructor? No. Are we using any kind of init method? No. Then how it will work? That is what the beauty of here in the data decorator. How you need to use this data class. Obviously, what do you have to do? You have to use the data class. That is very, very important. So in this one is we are not using any kind of, what is that, constructor. But in Java and the standard method you need to use that, constructor, right? Then what you are doing here is I'm just going to mention only the data type. For example, gender. What is a string? Right? Here is you are going to mention that what is the data type it is going to be. Because why we are going to mention that? Because in this method you need to mention it. Okay, this is a method. Okay, how to create the object? I am going to create one more method, dancing. Right? You already know the self, comma, type of dance. Then friend. Dancing, type of dance. Okay, this is the one. Now, how to create the object actually? Object is very simple, same one. What is it? Raja is equal to human. What do you have to do? You have to pass the argument. If you want, you can pass the argument as well. Right? Now, what is that? 2 comma 2 comma, what is that? Male. Okay, and Raja dot dancing. What is that? Disco. disco, right? Raja dot eating, what is that, rice and sambar. Let me run this program. You'll feel that actually. Why? Because, sorry, I forgot to put that, I added this extra stuff. I should not added this one. What is the error showing here means the init takes only one argument. This is a positional. Sorry for that. Let me. Okay. Because we don't have the constructor, right? That's what. In this method too, there is no constructor. You'll feel that. But I want to assign some value to this particular one. Yeah, why not? You can assign it. Self dot. What is that? Ice is equal to. What is that? 2. Self dot. Lex is equal to 3. Whatever it is. If you want to print it, you can print that. Self dot ice and lex. See that it is eating food with that and eating sambaran with that. Then finally it is printing this one also. Self dot ice, this one and everything is printing. So this stuff is we are calling as a data class. That is the, what is that? Another decorator. Why we are calling it in Java, they are calling as the annotations, right? This term they are calling as the annotations. In Python, they are calling as the decorator. Okay, it's Python, they are calling as a decorator. Let me go here. Okay, I already have some kind of methods here, some standard formats here. This is a syntax, we need to use it. Okay, this method is called as a data class decorator. How to do that? It's very simple. But to do that, from data classes, import data class at data class name and attribute. That's all. Do we need to use a constructor? No need of constructor. Okay, that's the thing. Same thing I did it here as well. Same thing I did it here as well. Okay, 1, 2. It means the same way I did it here. Okay, for example, Raja human. What is that? 2, 3, what is that? Male. Why it is throwing error for me right now? Earlier. 21. Why it is not? Why it is working here? It is not working here. It is not working there. Let me try that. Same here also, right? Here also the same way. Eyes, legs, everything. Oh dear. I just used a SQL operator. Sorry. Colon, I have to put it. Sorry. That is what the problem. The mistake I did it here is, that's what. That is what it is creating the trouble. So the mistake I did it here is I used a SQL operator instead of colon. That is what the problem. So this is another way of creating the class, that is method 2. The standard method is, think about the standard method. It's a normal Java classes, right? Class class name and constructor and instance method and object creations, just a calling. But here is, it's a data class decorator. We are talking about the creating the class using the data class decorator. How to create it? From data classes, you have to import the data class. You have to use the data class decorator. Okay, so class human, and we these are all the attributes. Okay, these are all the attributes, class attributes, or we can call it as an instance variable. Okay, so this is the class attributes, and here is we are going to mention the type of data. Okay, what type of data? And this is the, what is that, instance method or functions. So do we need any kind of constructor? No need of any kind of constructor. Why? Then who will take care of this one? This will be taken care by this particular data class decorator. Okay, you'll feel that, bus, do we need this kind of stuff? It's up to you. How do you want to do that? It's up to you. If you want to access this particular everything, you can print it here as well. For example, print, okay, raja dot ice, raja dot lake. You'll feel that, bus, how this is, raja dot ice, because we haven't done any kind of initialization, right? This data decorator will take care. This data decorator will take care. How? Because this human class will initialize this particular one, the eyes, everything. Thus there is no constructor, right? Yes, there is no constructor, but still this data decorator will create the constructor for you and do the initializations. So your value 2 will be assigned here, 3 will be assigned here, male will be assigned here. It will take care of the initializations. So what do you have to do? Suppose, for example, how to print it? Same way. Object name dot data member name. Object name dot method name. Same way. For example, I want to create one more object. For example, okay, Rani is equal to. In this cases, yeah, you can also print it. Same way you can print it. Rani dot, what is it? Dancing. Bharatanatyam. Yeah, that's the one. You want to print that, access that local variable means it's fine. The instance variable is fine. Raja Rani dot ice. Okay, if you want to, yeah, print it means you can print it. Right? Print Rani dot le, print Rani dot ice. So here is we are printing all the attributes of Rani, and methods also we are accessing. Here is we are accessing the Raja stuff. Here is just we are doing the object initializations. Initialization or instantiations or object creations. Name is different. Okay, here is calling the attributes. My methods. That's the thing. Getting time. Let me run this. See that? It's working. Right? So what is the benefit here between this one and this one? Here is a constructor is there, here is constructor is not there. Then then how the initialization is happening? With the help of this data class decorator. Okay, so hopefully you are able to understand that, and let me know if you need if you have any query. Thank you. Then I'll go with the another one. Create a class using the active one. I'm going to explain right now.